Island University, and I was the head of the Department of Archaeology and Cultural Heritage. And then when we had the exchange, it was not just the Samoan students and teachers who came to Gotland, but also Swedish students and teachers who came here. And that was very important. It felt like a very equal exchange because we are small island universities and we learned a lot from each other. So over the years it has been, I think, 12 or 14 Samoan students coming across to Sweden to study, and the same for the Swedish to come here, and also teachers exchange. So it has been very fruitful, I would say, and successful. Yeah.
I know in 2008, when archaeology and cultural heritage major was started at that time in our university under the Center for Samoan Studies, and I'm happy that it still continues today, taking archaeology and cultural heritage as a major under the Center for Samoan Studies. But the problem I face is the limited of human resource. Especially, it's very hard to find local archaeologists. And also, I rely mostly on overseas scholars like you, and also Professor Christophersen in New Caledonia, Ethan Cochrane from Auckland University, Christian Rippmeyer from Institute of Archaeology in Germany. I still rely on them about doing analysis because we have limited resources to do analysis here in Samoa, not only for archaeological materials that we found in our excavation and also human remains. Can you talk about the importance of having local archaeologists that develop the program in Samoa, and also from your experience in working in Samoa in so many years?
Yes, that is the key, and it's also very important with legislation, like a heritage law, a coherent heritage law. That is one of the bases, I would say. But also education is super important, and over the years we developed together with the staff here, I developed courses first each year, more and more, and then it became a program for archaeology and cultural heritage management. And of course, human resource capacity building is very important, and I hope now that I could contribute also, because I'm going to slow down in my work in Sweden, and maybe I can come and also assist with the cultural heritage and archaeology program and strengthen it for a while. But collaborations are also very important, that you have people coming from the outside and support. But the most important is that you build the program and with the human resources here. And I would like to add that there are many skills that we all have, that we teach within archaeology, that are transferable skills that you can also use in other occupations like GIS and remote sensing and so on, and project management. So there are many benefits actually to study these courses.
Why did you prefer Samoan to do archaeology studies? Like, as you mentioned, that 2005 we started our working collaboration between CSS, Center for Samoan Studies, and Gotland University. But before you came to conduct excavation and archaeological survey in Samoa, why did you interested to come to Samoa to do archaeological fieldwork?
First, I was very interested because of my research, because I've been working in Rapa Nui, which is Easter Island, for a long time. I did my doctoral dissertation. And the people in the east, close to South America and so on, Marquesas and Rapa Nui and Tahiti and so on, the people came from here, because this is the hub. Here is where the Polynesians became sort of the Polynesian tradition and identity. So that's why I would like, for me personally, I wanted to come here and excavate. But then I realized that this is a wonderful country, and there are so many very interesting things here, and also identity and culture and so on. So, and also that Samoa actually is an independent country and has not in many other places there's still colonies. And I think that made it more equal also when I came to do it's not like indigenous, you are Samoan and I'm Swedish, sort of, and we had a very good relationship, I think. But I realized that there were no Samoan students within this field. And the director for the Center of Samoan Studies were interested in to get this.
I know you are nearly retired as an archaeology lecturer and also archaeology researcher in the world. But the last 15 years, we had a working collaboration, especially our exchanging program between Cortland University and NUS under the Center for Samoan Studies. Are you planning to continue this collaboration in the future, especially the exchanging in staff and students between two universities?
Well, I hope this. Now I'm part of a larger organization, because when this exchange, it was an 8-year exchange. It's ended in 2013. I have been coming also to assist a little after. But now I'm Uppsala University, because our small island university was incorporated. And of course, when you're a larger organization, it is a little more difficult in that sense. But I am going to try to work to do this. And I have many colleagues who would be interested also to come for exchange. And the students, it's very important for students from all parts of the world, actually, to have exchanges with others, to understand each other, sort of, yeah.
Thank you for supporting the Center's program, Archaeology and Cultural Heritage program, because I know exactly you had a great contribution in the development of Archaeology and Cultural Heritage program in the beginning, like reviewing the course descriptors and also the program. And also the supplying of resource materials that help our students, and also the development of the program. Looking at your work in Samoa in inland of Mangiangi village, and also La Pulemelei, and also Malaifono in Samoa, and also Laupule Mount. Can you share your experience about the materials that you found during your excavation, and also other important stuff that it happened during your work in Samoa?
Well, under the canopy here in Samoa, especially in inland location, there are huge areas with prehistoric remains or house foundations, and we have huangas, grinding groves, we have also adzes and all kinds of tools that can be thousands years old. And like I was saying when we had a workshop the other day, it's a tree cannot live without its roots. But sometimes you need to take down the tree because you are doing a fallow or something like that. But you could then sort of honor, and you could honor what kind of tree, and you can make a survey and see where it was from the beginning to understand the environment and to understand humans also. But when it concerns also to have human resource capacity building, I have been a visiting fellow to the University of Sydney now, and I've been to many of the universities, Australian National University and so on. And now actually in Australia, they have a mobility scheme that I will also talk more to the Center of Samoan Studies about, that could strengthen So maybe the students from the university in Australia also could come, and there could be an exchange with them. So I'm sort of attached to them right now, I would say.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. Can you share your experience when historical background of archaeological studies in Samoa when started in 1950s when Jack Carlson arrived in Samoa, followed by Roger Green and Janet Davidson, followed by Jesse Jennings and Gregory Jackman. He's working here with us, and also followed by you. Then Professor Ethan Cochrane from University of Auckland, and also Christian Redmayer and other archaeologists that they competing to come to Samoa to do more archaeological work in Samoa, because according to the history of archaeological studies in Samoa, there only one place in Samoa that found pieces of lapita potteries, just Muli Whanua. And I wonder why a lot of archaeologists in the world and other universities, they were looking forward to come to Samoa, to find another place in Samoa to find pieces of lapita pottery that compare and contrast with the pieces that they found in 1980s in Muli Whanua. So what's your point of view about the studies?
Well, I'm pretty sure that would be more sites that are that old, but the problem with this is that it's submerging, that you have to go. It was when they were dredging in Muli Whanua, so it was under the coralline crust actually. Because with the tectonics, as we know, with earthquakes and so on, the land shifts and moves. So that's why it's been so difficult actually to find. But maybe if there would be a good survey and maybe drilling down in some location, we'll find more of this. But the reason I think that many have been interested also to come is that they want to solve the question about how people moved over the Pacific Ocean, because the Pacifica people have been really amazing to have their seacraft going so long stretches. The Pacific Ocean is our largest ocean, but almost all island has been populated, so it has been really important to understand how these movements. So I think that's why they have come, but I think it's also about time that the Pacifica people themselves are the ones that are in the forefront to investigate it, but with exchanges and collaborations.
Good. Ia mo le whaafonga mai alo ma whanau le atu nuu le saunoanga fo ia le fionga le tamaitai professor, fionga ia Professor Helene Martinsson-Molin mai le University of Uppsala University o le atu nuu o Sweden, o le fionga ia Professor Helene wa leva maloa tausanga o ngā lue I te tonu si o tātou atu nuu le whaatinoanga o suenga I mata upu tautala eli ma ngā nuu tu whasolo, archaeology and cultural heritage. O le foinga ngā lulue so tau au ma le tātou lau mua so suenga mta upu tau Samoa au avea le fionga ia fui, Professor fui I lawa tu ua so fauso e whai foi ma pule whaatonu po le director o le Center for Samoan Studies I le tausanga I lua o lima. Matai ona whaavae mai, mata mawhai amatalia, le mata upu le nei te tonu le University o Samoa, le ana whesoasoani malo si ai, le fionga ia Professor Helene Martinsson-Molin I le tusiina, ia ma le toe ilo ina foi o taiala, po o mata upu whapena ona avea, mawhiriwhilia avea ma mata upu au tu, po o le major in archaeology and cultural heritage I te tonu o le tātou lau mua. Te le fo I le sao le fionga ia Professor Helene I le tau mawhainga lea o se polo kalame na whapena o na whai ai se whiangainga e o atu ai a tātou whai a onga, ia matamaiti a onga ia o onga I tonu o University Sweden o Scotland ma Uppsala University. Aina maua fo I le avanoa na o mai ai fo I tamaiti mai mawhaia o ngā mai Scotland University e o mai e whaia o ngā i te tonu o le tātou University i lalo lava o le Paul Kalame le nei, se fulu whā tausanga taluai o whaatino ina le nei Paul Kalame, se o ina wha mai aina le tausanga e lua awhi, se fulu. Le alama la e asi mai le fionga ia Professor Eileen Martinson Wallin i te tonu o le tātou atu nuu maa sia fo i le University o le anganga ina i e toe mawhai o na so tau au, ma toe whaawau ina pēa lea whia ngainga i le lumanai. Le ala e pēo na Fa'Asoa ai le whiunga ia Professor Eileen, tele fo i ona suenga mana tusinga i le mata upu lava le nei tautala eli manga nuu tu whasolo whapenao na o ina i te tonu le tātou lau mua o suenga mata upu tau Samoa i te tonu le tātou University. Professor Eileen, can you share your experience about any issues that you had faced when doing your archaeological studies in Samoa, especially going out to the village to do the field work?
Well, it's always been very positive to go out to the villages. I live in a small village myself, so I know about village life on the island, yes. But of course, it can be challenging with the land issues and also the Matai titles and so on. And of course, we always want to be respectful for the culture, which is very important that we talk to people and to talk to all people who are also in charge of the land and know how to deal with this. So I think that is something that I have learned, that it's very important that we need to discuss. And then the Center for Samoan Studies and your knowledge about the land issues, the Matai system and so on has been so valuable to be able to be successful to do the work actually. So I think that is something. But the dream is that I will not be the one to be here, but there will be Samoan archaeologists. And that's how I've been working and mentoring young people also to understand the culture in this country. Not just today, but we lose rapidly today the understand all over the world, not just in Samoa. So it is an important task to do.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Eileen. I know that you offer a specific way of mentoring our young lecturers in archaeology and cultural heritage, and also that's my dream in the future to have more local archaeologists that continuing teaching, to continue teaching and developing more courses about archaeology and cultural heritage. I know there's the archaeology and cultural heritage is in colleges in Samoa is under the history, geography and science syllabus, but we need to specific, take archaeology as a specific subject area in education system, in Samoan education system, because we start here in the university, the major in archaeology and cultural heritage. So in the future, I will push the ACH department to look at the developing of other more courses to develop the postgraduate program, archaeology and cultural heritage program in the university. And once again, thank you for your contribution and your help in developing of the program in our university. Any other suggestion that you made for the future of the program in Samoa?
Yeah, for the future, what I also do when I teach with archaeology and heritage management is that because it's an interdisciplinary pursuit to do archaeology, it is within the humanities, social science and natural science alike. And I think it was very fruitful when the science students could also take archaeology as a minor. But also that you could use, I have had projects in my own island, projects that actually use archaeological remains and sites, especially with monuments and so on, in a tourism, a cultural tourism, but also to do it in a careful way. to also have the respect to go to the villages and see what they do today, but on the same page also actually see what the ancestors of them have been doing. So archaeology and the monuments and so on can be used also within a cultural heritage tourism, which I have the experience from my island. We have 1 million tourists a year coming to the island because we have so special archaeology, actually, and so on. So we use that very much. And that is something I also could offer some advice maybe on in the future.
Very interested, Professor, because we also conducted a lot of inland survey with collaboration with the community. And also we acknowledge the support from the community when we went out in the field to conduct inland survey. And we found very interested materials under the ground. And also we found star mounds, walkways, and also earth ovens. Lot of interesting materials that we found that Samoan people did not know how our ancestors lived in the past, and also the importance of this kind of studies that we push the village and districts to focus and develop more program for tourist industry in Samoa. As you mentioned, that we have a lot of archaeological sites, natural sites, and also that we attracting tourists to come to Samoa. And also that's from last 5 years, that's a Samoan main source of income before measles and COVID-19 is the tourist industry in Samoa, and also remittances. So our working collaboration with the community is to tell them this is a site that you can get money from it, and also we will help them in training their local people to explain to tourists, to be the tour guides. So for example, we conducted the survey in Palauli in Savaii, where we started the trail, the heritage trail, and we leave it to the district. We clean the star mounds and walkways and old sites that attracting tourists to come there, and also they get money from it. So that's the support that we offered for the community, not only to more development of tourist attraction, and also for academic purposes, especially for the future of the Samoan students. As you mentioned, the importance of your island in Sweden, a small island in Sweden, that there's a lot of important sites. Ia, na Samoa ua whaafonga mai fo'i au Fa'Asoa fo'i le whionga i le tamaitai professor, o le whionga ia Professor Helene Martinson Wolin, ia o se Professor Lau Iloa i le lolangi i le mataupu tau tala eli po le archaeology ma le cultural heritage ia manganu tu whaasolo whapena o na o ina i tonu le University o Samoa. Ia ua lama whai ua i foi le polo kalame le nei fiafi. Now Professor Helene, now we are coming at the conclusion of our program, and any advice you can give to the Samoan students who study archaeology, and also something that you recommend for the future development of the ACH program?
Well, as I say, that archaeology is an interdisciplinary pursuit, and there are many transferable skills you can learn also that you can have use for in the society as a total. But archaeology is about heritage, first and foremost, your own identity, and that you get, it's for the Samoans. And you are cultural bearers, I would say, in the future. So I think that is very important. But you can also, like I say, use this in a careful cultural tourism, and educate and work with the communities, which is very important, to work with the communities and learn them about the past also, and what these monuments mean, and so on. So I think that is something that the students should take with them, that they are sort of custodians also on the culture, and they will also learn new technologies, because that is also within archaeology. So it's both from the past to the present and into the future. So I think that is my conclusion.
Thank you, Professor, and also thank you for organizing the workshop in Bonn, Germany, where we presented our papers, especially when I presented the paper about the first recorded book of honorifics, and also village salutation and Fa'amatai system, written by the German anthropologist, Dr. Augustin Grämer. And then also I'm really happy for you to review, and also as an editor of my paper to publish in the Journal of Samoan Studies, and also great workshop that we presented our papers from different disciplines. And also I was happy to meet Hedvig, because she conducted her research about the Samoan language.
Exactly.
Very important that as an outsider, a scholar from different country of the world that studied the Samoan language,
Yes, Hedvig is also a Swedish, very strange, maybe, but she's a Swedish linguist who was here to do her PhD, but at the Australian National University. So, so I think that there could also be, to also work with archaeology and language and all kinds of skills together, I think is also the future for this discipline, the interdisciplinary way of working and thinking about that. I have been very much involved in a research school developing these skills, actually for doctoral students. But here it would be important to actually pursue master students, to have master students. And I think there are many topics for the students and skills to learn here.
Ia le nau mai mo mai Samoa e pe ona sa no fo le tamaitai professor I le fontanga fo I sa awai atu e tausanga te nei I poni si amani le sa whaatautaia ia ma ele tamaitai professor nei ma le sunga ia Dr. Christian Rep Meyer mai le Institute of Archaeology I te tonu si amani pe ona ia fo I le fionga le tamaitai fo mai le fionga ia Dr. Hedvig o lea sa whaia lana fo pepa le fo mai le tō whamanino po o le PhD in language o lea sa whai I nei le tātou atunu tonu lo o whapena ona mai mo mai a whio anga fo I sa whapena ona ala lai le tamaitai ia Dr. Hedvig ia mawhai e lana suenga lea sa mātou awai lea fontanga tāua ia Fa'Asoa ai fo I le tāua o le tātou ngana e a mea o se vaenga tāua e lango a tili ai fō launga tangata Pasifika ma tangata Polynesia e pe ona iai lea fontanga tāua ia o si uile na o le tātou por kalame nei fiafi. That's the conclusion of the Samoa Fa'Asoa program this week. I take this great opportunity to thank you, Professor Eileen Martinson, for accepting my request to be a guest speaker to talk tonight about archaeology in Samoa. Enjoy your stay in Samoa. Ia o le nā Samoa le Paul Kalame whai ue mo le ngā whaaftai I le lango fo I le nei professor I longa o le lalolangi I le mata upu tau tala eli ma nganu utu whaasolo o mwhai o na Fa'Asoa mai ma whesoasoani mai I le lau mua so enga mata upu tau Samoa a lau University o Samoa I le tau mawhainga fo I o le nei mata upu a wā lea o uina o alo ma whanau o le atunu ia o le nei fiafi whasoifua ia.